It was the first time that man had ever looked at Mars through a telescope. But the scientist Jara suddenly noticed that there was a fire rising from Mars, as if someone was firing a cannonball from above. Everyone was thrilled to hear his discovery, and the teacher rushed to take pictures of what Jara saw. But because of the lack of technology during World War I, the teacher, Kiran, concluded that it was just a massive volcanic eruption on Mars. Jara also thought that this could be the case. But then a series of things happened to break his original knowledge. In the evening of that day, a blue light suddenly lit up outside the house, and then the house began to shake. Jara rushed to the house with her husband, Galen, and saw a series of clouds in the sky left behind by an object that had passed through at high speed. So it was clear that something had fallen from a high altitude to the ground so early the next day. Jara, her husband, and Kiran followed the direction of the clouds. They entered a forest where a large area of trees had been charred, and in the charred clearing a meteorite was sitting quietly, but unlike ordinary meteorites, this one was too big and vibrated every once in a while. The strange scene makes a few people are very uneasy. Galen asked the two people do not act rashly. He first went to find the relevant departments. Soon Galen will be the Ministry of State Security people over the unanimous decision to first dig up all the soil around the meteorite unexpectedly. Just halfway through the digging when the meteorite surface suddenly produced cracks and, inside, the sound of some kind of similar gears turning like something to come out of it. The people present were startled and hurriedly retreated to the distance to watch. The next second the meteorite shell began to fall off, and it was only then that people realized with horror that inside the meteorite was actually a black sphere. NSA Senior boldly and carefully went forward and put his hand on the black sphere. Surface is a kind of viscous liquid but very smooth, can clearly see the shadow of a person. The senior management was very curious, but did not expect that the black sphere in the meteorite began to rotate, and in an instant all the shells fell off. This change startled everyone present, and before they could react, the black sphere spun faster and faster and slowly flew into the air 5 meters above the ground. At that time, the people who had never seen such a scene suddenly forgot about the possible dangers of all frozen in place to see what would happen next, but did not know that a crisis of extinction of mankind has come, only to see the black ball to a certain height and then no longer rise but began to rotate crazily and then will be broken into some black debris. The closest NSA officer was the first to bear the brunt of the black debris, which immediately caught fire when it touched him and instantly turned him into a fireman. At this moment, people finally realized the danger and started to run away, but it was already too late. As the black debris expanded, people started to catch fire until the black ball completely dissipated and the deaths and injuries stopped. In the crowd, Anna and Galen were also running away. Because they were on the periphery at the beginning, they escaped from the disaster. By the time they got back to the city, it was already dark. Anna thought that the fire she saw on Mars yesterday must be the aliens up there, launching ion balls, and now there were all the signs that the Martians were beginning to invade the Earth. Anna immediately decided to tell this news to the top management as it was getting late. The two decided to leave the next day, but the Martians did not give them the opportunity to do so. The next day when they were ready to leave the city, not far away from them ran a few soldiers covered in blood.